right, hey everybody. So I saw this video this morning at like 1 and I didn't have the time to just get up and start doing a video on it, but I knew I wanted to. So first thing this morning or afternoon, I'm doing a video on it. And just warning up front, it's going to be gross. The stuff that's being said, I'm not going to say anything, but what's being said here is going to be very gross. To give you the rundown, basically Project Veritas did another one of their undercover videos, essentially, that said that this person here is the Francis W. Parker School in Chicago, Illinois' Dean of Students, and he is talking about some things that they do in the classroom, some interesting activities that I mean, it's the things that you learned in school, that you and I learned in school, right? Let's see. Let's find out what kind of things they learn in school there.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos.
Oh, that's not good.
Talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Okay, so that is entirely a topic that should definitely be addressed. Not anywhere close to a classroom, like at all, ever. Like what? Now, interesting thing here, there was a bit of a cut here. You probably noticed it. It was like an exposure transition there. So it pretty much, he could have been talking about two different things. We'll see if they show that again later. This is just like an intro to the video. So we'll see if they show it again later with any kind of actual context.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private School in Chicago, which happens to charge $40,000 per student.
They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this work? How does this work?
Okay, so here's the thing here. So right off the bat, I can see that this guy has a horrible color painted on his nails. That aside, I go natural, right? That's just me. It's my choice. Anyway, the thing here that I'm seeing is that he's not saying that they're doing this in the classrooms. This is kind of what it's being taken as. This might be some sort of extracurricular activity, which makes it significantly weirder. Just gonna put that out there. That makes this somewhat worse. But yeah, let's see what else is going on here.
Really, like a part of my job.
If he's talking about being part of his job, well, there was a cut there. Let's go back real quick. Let's make sure I'm not seeing that.
Parents might be.
That's a really like cool part of.
Okay, so there was a cut there. So he might have been talking about something else. So this does look edited. So I will give it that. I don't know to what. We would need to see the full unedited video.
Means handing out sex toys to underage students.
So I've been the dean for 4 years. During Pride, we do a Pride Week every year. And I had
okay, this is from the beginning.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Okay, there was no edit there. So that is 100% what he said. There was no break at that time. Okay, yeah, it's gross. Moving on.
This is an LGBTQ plus health center came in to talk to my high school students. They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're looking at them.
In the school?
In a classroom.
Oh, okay. Well, everything I just said, throw that out the window. In the school, in a classroom, he said it. There was no edit there. It was right there. There's no break. I can tell the video. There's no edit. I'm watching very closely. I'm watching this person right up here who's probably also astounded by what the hell she just heard.
Wow. Yeah. While I'm sitting there. Then we had a drag queen come in, pass out.
There was an edit there, so it's a step story. We gotta take that for what it is. There he is with the drag queen.
That's amazing. And everybody's cool with that.
So I will give them this. The drag queen is 100% fully dressed. I don't really necessarily have an issue with I mean, it's weird to me. It's still kind of weird, but I don't like this is not like a hypersexualized thing. So that I don't see as being a huge gross thing, but
Photos.
I mean, I can understand people would not be comfortable with
Everybody's
that.
cool with that. Like the butt plugs and the dildos. Nobody complains.
No,
I mean, if the parents found out, would they?
no, it's queer sex.
That is a weird take that he said. Mr. Bruno here has said that no, the parents would not at all be bothered by this. Like, really, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be bothered by this in the slightest bit. That is very strange to me. I mean, if it were me, I would be extremely bothered by this. Do they actually know? Was there a permission slip for this? I think this was one of those things. Back when I went to high school and grade school back in the day, and we got like the sex education classes, they gave us permission slips that our parents had to sign saying, they were okay with us doing whatever. And I think there were maybe a couple, one or two kids that were, their parents didn't sign it. They were like, yeah, we'll do it ourselves, type of thing. Not do it themselves, like they'll talk about it themselves. Anyway, point being that they were going to talk about it to the kids themselves because that's what they wanted to do. And they had that option, and that they should have that option, and that's perfectly fine. This person doesn't seem like they're somebody that's going to ask for permission. They're just going to ask for forgiveness. And not even that, because clearly everything he's doing here, he's 100% fine with. He doesn't see an issue with these kids, which let's look at it. There was a picture. I mean, these guys look like they're, I would say, early teens. 13, 14 maybe. But, kids these days look older than they did when I was younger. Maybe it's just a perspective thing. But, I mean, they seem a bit older or younger than they should be to be playing with dildos. They don't seem mature enough to be doing that in the first place. Because, I mean, okay, we found one of those in my friend's mom's drawer once when we were younger. And it was hilarious. It's we're not mature about it at all.
This is the drag queen that came in,
What's her name?
Alexis Bevels,
Alexis Bevels.
and just hung out in my classroom,
Who was there?
or hung out in my office.
You have so much freedom, so much wiggle room.
So much freedom, so much money
I mean,
to do stuff.
trustees are okay with that too? They don't know.
They would. It's like I wouldn't even run it by them.
So exactly what I just said, as it turns out. He does not seem like the person that would ask for permission. And he wouldn't. And he didn't.
Why would
So,
I run it by them?
Why would you run it by them? Why would you run by passing around, pieces of basically sex toys? Why would you run that by the parents? Why would you do that? I don't know. Why would you do that? I don't. I'm gonna lose my mind. Let's keep going.
It's wonderful.
Like, how old were the kids with the classroom?
14, 18. They're like, how does this go?
Oh my gosh, I was right. I think I said look like they're 14 or so. Yeah, absolutely, I was right.
How do we do, how does this work? So yeah, that's a really cool part of my job is I don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Okay, that's the end of it. That last part there, they passed it around. They asked how to use it. What kind of answer do you think Mr. Bruno gave them there? What kind of answer do you suppose he gave? Did he give an answer? What kind of answer did Alexis Bevels there give for that? You don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. Did they demonstrate? They talk about using spit versus lube. Wow, these are things that should not be in a class. It's a private school, though, and obviously the teachers or the parents are paying the school, and they should. They should definitely get their money's worth, I guess. Interesting. So let me see. I'm gonna check real quick and see if I can do any additional research on Mr. Bruno here. It might be hard because this came out and he's probably private all social media, but we'll check real quick just to see what I can find, if anything, and here we go. Okay, so I'm just to look at the website real quick. So I wanted to see, I'm trying to find if there's some sort of statement put out. I'm going to check a couple of these links here in a second, but I'm looking at this. What stood out to me is they put this down here, 46% self-identify students of color. I I'm looking at the pictures. I'm looking at the pictures. I'm looking at the pictures. I'm not seeing 46%. I am not. Does he have a Hellraiser cube? What the hell? Okay. Let's check their Facebook and see if they put out a statement. Oh, it's not okay. Looks like the school seems to be, they seem to have shut down and they've gotten rid of their Twitter. Okay. Okay, so we've got a statement by the school that was put out to the news media, and it is basically saying that Francis W. Parker cares deeply about the health, well-being, and development of our students. Programs designed to help cultivate physical and emotional well-being, as well as strong sense of belonging, are essential to our mission. I don't understand where butt plugs and other sex toys come into that. Spit versus lube. I don't understand where that is there. Let's see if it's anywhere else here. Last week, in industry comments, one of our employees was targeted by a member of Project Veritas and misled to believe he was conversing with another conference attendee over coffee. Okay, he was filmed without his knowledge or permission while describing one example of our inclusive LGBTQ plus affirming and comprehensive approach to sex education. Veritas deceptively edited the video with malicious intent. Parker's administrators and Parker's board of trustees support Parker's programming, the strength and inclusivity of our curriculum, and the dedicated, talented faculty and staff that teach it. Okay. So basically, they're not denying what he did. They said it was heavily edited. I didn't see heavy editing. They're basically saying here he was filmed without his knowledge or permission while describing one example. So there's more examples of this. Interesting. I'm curious what those are. I'm curious about the ones they don't talk about in public, right? Because he was in a public place talking around a bunch of people. I don't know what state that was in, depending on where it is. If you're in a public place, you don't have any expectation of privacy, so you can't really say like, oh, we weren't allowed to, I didn't know they were filming me, blah, blah, blah. But if you're perfectly fine with talking about this with complete strangers, what kind of things are they like not okay with talking to complete strangers about? Kind of seemed like he was bragging this up with somebody. But anyway, I don't, at no point in, is this what sex education is supposed to be now? Is this what it's turning into? It's not just, these are the parts and pieces. This is how things work. These are your types of orientation. Like, I mean, it doesn't need to get that detailed. It really doesn't. At no point during my sex education in class did they ever talk about using spit versus lube. They give you time to figure things out on your own, basically. I'm not saying they give you time in the classroom. I'm saying they give you time in your life to figure this stuff out on your own, as it should be. You don't need to have somebody teaching you every step of the way of everything. That's just why are we teaching the kids that, especially at 14 years old? That is way beyond the pale. I don't think there's any defending this, but apparently they're trying to defend it. And this is why we have, now don't get me wrong, I don't like Russia, but this is why that Russia just made more laws saying that were basically anti-LGBT. And I think they just like removed a bunch of other letters out there because they don't care, because they're Russia. But they basically made more laws because they cited specifically, they don't want our culture going over there and influencing them the way it is here. Because this is what the rest of the world sees. It's not just Russia that sees that. Everywhere in the world sees that. And stuff like this gives fuel to those flames. This is gross. I'm gotta give you my real feelings on it. It's pretty gross. So I didn't see when it comes to, is it heavily edited? Is it real? I was looking for edits. I was looking for things to show like, okay, this can't be real. But the guy was saying, he said it right off, like all in one contiguous segment. He said, this is happening in the classroom. We have people come in, they pass around butt plugs and sex toys of all kinds, and they talk about different ways of using them. And he also said that they don't talk about the parents to it, the people that fund it, they don't talk to them about it. It's just them doing whatever they want, and they're not telling anybody. So, judging by how quickly all the social media came down and all this other stuff came down, I think there's going to be some kind of backlash to this. Obviously, there's probably going to be something going on there. I'm not going to say this is everywhere. It's probably not. It's probably. I mean, hopefully, it's just an isolated thing. But yeah, it's. I want to go back to a nicer time in history. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have more questions, have more comments. Maybe I missed something. Maybe you think there's something else that we should look at. By all means, throw it down in the comments. Can't wait to look at it, respond to it. If you could, give me a like and subscription, because that helps me out so much. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, try not to die.